Okay, so anybody out there right now that's kind of got some goals that seem really far out of reach for them, just listen to this for a second. So, I just got my license back after about close to 15 years without having it. When I was younger, I got into drugs, I was into painkillers bad. Racked up a crazy amount of fines, got my license suspended, got caught driving with it suspended, ended up getting it taken away indefinitely until I paid these fines off. Finally, I moved out to Summerland, BC, got away from Saskatoon, the place I grew up in, got clean off the drugs, over 5 years clean now. Finally, this past year, I paid those fines off, and they said I just have to take my learner's written test, and then immediately after I can go for my road test and get my license back. Like, sweet. So I do the learner's written test, passed it. It's really easy. But then I took my first test and I did it in Kelowna. I'm from Summerland. Didn't drive in Kelowna lots. Long story short, I came up on an access road in my first test and it was beside the highway. I seen the 90 sign to the left of me, so I assumed I would be merging onto the highway. Well, I was wrong. Once you get past the corner, the road, you notice that it's its own road, it's an access road, and then you see the 50 sign beside. So I was already getting up to 70, 75 in a 50 zone and didn't realize it till it was too late. They failed me on that, which I realized. Second test, months later, I did in Penticton, and I thought I did pretty good, but apparently the person doing my test didn't think so. Failed me. Said I checked my mirrors too much instead of shoulder checking as much, which I know I shoulder checked every time, but there was a few times where I just shoulder check once and then use the mirrors. Apparently they don't like that. And a couple rolling stops, which I didn't even realize I was doing. When I failed the first time, or the second time, sorry, my girlfriend was like, I know you don't want to hear this because she knows I'm a very prideful person, but maybe you should get an instructor. I don't think it's because you're a bad driver, but obviously you're doing some things wrong that they didn't like. So I did it. I bit the bullet, paid the 100 and some bucks to get the instructor. Sure enough, he told me like, I don't think like you should have passed from what I'm seeing right now, but these are the few minor things that you're doing wrong that they may fail you on, which was the rolling stops and not shoulder checking enough. So I'm like, okay. Few months pass. I've been practicing lots. I was nervous as hell, and I've performed in front of hundreds of people, doing rap shows, and I get nervous during those. I'd never been as nervous as I was for this. I think it's because so much is riding on it, because I'm kind of, get my license back is a big thing in a lot of ways. It brings me, obviously, a lot of freedom. And I'm gonna be trying to build a business, and a work truck is a big thing I need to build on that, right? So I had a lot riding on this. So nervous. I was confident, but I was just nervous because I was like, man, if I get that same lady that did my first one, I was just, but I ended up getting it. I got it and I aced it. Not one bad thing was said about my driving. And I know it might seem like a little thing, like, teenagers get their license, but after not having it for so long, after having to pay all those fines, and then even when I failed, those two times, like, it took a hit to my ego, because I'm like, what's wrong with me? When I was a teenager, I was bombed out of my mind on painkillers. I had only driven maybe a couple times before my test, and I passed it. I'm like, how is that possible? And now I'm a grown ass adult in my mid 30s, clean as a whistle, and I can't pass my driver's. What is wrong with me? I kind of took a hit to my ego, and the old me I probably would have relapsed, feeling down on myself and ready to give up again. But something I learned is you gotta persevere no matter what. Like things aren't, the way I pictured in my head. I'm like, oh, I just do my learners, I go for my road test, boom, I got it back, and this would have happened. I think it was like 6 months ago or something like that. And there was these roadblocks that came up that I just had to push through. And you can't let it get you down for whatever reason. That's the way it was meant to be. I don't know why, but that was the way it was meant to be. So if you got a lot of these goals that seem so far out of reach, you just break it up into little things, and if roadblocks come, you just got to push through them. You have to have that mentality. You can't, when I failed those 2 times, especially the second time, there was a day or two where I was like feeling down on myself and just not feeling good about it. But I just keep in mind that, look, from where I was before all this to now, I just remind myself, and it's like I have it so good now that something as little as failing a driver test, like whatever, I can go again for it in a couple months. It's not a big deal compared to where I was owing thousands and thousands of dollars in fines and, seeming like I'll never get my license back because I was just stuck, and I wasn't working, and I wasn't taking the steps to try to get it done. But as soon as I actually locked in and started focusing on it and writing things down and, putting money aside and doing this and doing that, it came way faster than expected, So I just wanted to put this out there to just kind of give people a little bit of hope and just instill that mindset in you that no matter what pops up, just keep pushing through it and you will achieve what you want to achieve, but you just have to push through it. Your higher power is going to test you with these things. And for whatever reason, if things aren't turning out how you pictured them, which they're not going to a lot of the time, just know that it's happening for a reason. And as long as you keep pushing and as long as you keep setting these little goals, you will get to where you want to be. Straight up.